Yeah, we're coming up here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're live. Hey, what's up? Wow, I can barely hear this microphone. That's what everyone says, but we can hear you on the stream. You can hear me on the stream, right? Thank you. My name is Billy Ramirez, also known as the Middle-Aged Muchacho, here hosting Wacky Wednesday at LA School of Comedy at 10835 Santa Monica Boulevard. It's nice to be here with this giant crowd that just cannot resist making noise. Woo! Yeah. So, anyways, I'm going to ask all these, the 12,000 comedians that are in the crowd right now. Any of you just sometimes let your brain run away and start crafting these alternate stories about yourself, and you end up living in this other reality that you crafted for yourself? Like for me, for example, for a while, I thought that I wasn't funny or interesting enough to be a comedian. It's like, I don't know. I don't have any stories, whatnot. But, actually, thanks to Right Club with Dustin Chafin, that helped snap me out of it. And, I've realized that, I do have stories. I'm interesting enough to be a comedian because, actually, if I think about it, if I didn't have stories, I wouldn't be a middle-aged man trying to be a comedian right now, So welcome to my midlife crisis. Thank you very much. If I didn't have stories, I'd be a VP of marketing somewhere, and I'd have functional relationships in one of those KY 401s or whatever it's called. But instead, I have 5 different side hustles going on right now. And like last weekend, I did some moving. I like to wear my Reebok Classics, but today I'm not wearing my Reebok Classics because this weekend I dropped a Peloton on my toe, and I didn't know how heavy Pelotons were, but they're very heavy. So I've been doing some moving because obviously I need the money, and sometimes I don't feel Mexican enough. So it's nice to do some manual labor every now and then. I just gotta start organizing this hoarder's episode of a brain that I have. It's it's a mess. The guest room is full of useless trivia about 1990s NHL backup goalies, and then the garage is full of empties from a past drinking problem and physical copies of Smokey and the Bandit, and then the rest of the house is just chock full to the rafters with pure uncut childhood trauma stuffed in boxes labeled open at your own risk. So actually, let's take a quick intermission because I did mention useless trivia about 1990s NHL goalies. So oh, you're going to love this, I'm sure. Here are my top 3 favorite 1990s NHL backup goalie names in descending order, okay? All right, so everyone, hold on to your butts. I know you're just dying for this, all right? Number 3, Darren Poopa. Oh. Number 2, Pokey Reddick. And number 1, Ron Tugnut. All real names. And as a bonus, honorable mention goes to Darcy Wakaluk, because Wakaluk sounds like something you would say when you stub your toe in the dark. So I just got to start tapping into my trauma reserves, that have been distilled into a fine comedy elixir, aged for decades in anxiety barrels with subtle notes of people-pleasing and shame and very strong notes of emotionally unavailable parents. Speaking of parents, I'm convinced that my dad killed my mom. Yeah, for serious. So, all right, backstory. My mom went toe-to-toe with cancer for 19 years, okay? And then she suddenly passes away a few days after my dad leaves her to go move and live with family from his first marriage in a different state. And before he did that, he left her some food. I remember that during our last phone call, my mom was like, tu papá me dejó una comida, he left me some food, all that. And then, so because he left her some food, I'm thinking that my dad killed my mom through poison beans. I'm serious, poison beans, right? Because she mentioned the beans during her last phone call. And then when my brother and I were packing up her apartment, there on the stove was a fresh batch of cooked beans. And she was eating beans when she passed away, when she keeled over and passed away. And I know that poison beans sounds like a weird thing to say, but keep in mind, when I was a child, my family and I, we lived in Mexico for 3 years, okay? And after we came back to the States, my dad developed a flesh-eating infection in his leg, okay? And he claimed that the reason for this infection was that his enemy, a rival, an enemy, poisoned his tortillas with dirt from a graveyard. So when you have that information in your back pocket, poisoned beans don't sound that weird, does it? Okay? I don't know, that's what I'm saying. But poison bean sounds weird, but it might be true, it might be not. I don't know what I'm saying. It is true. It's definitely true. I hope. I don't know. The thing is, like, you can't really force someone to do an autopsy on a 67-year-old cancer victim. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I know she keeled over and died, but and she's been having cancer. She had cancer for 19 years, but could you go ahead and slice her open? Because I think that she actually died because of poison beans. So I don't know. I never worked up the courage to tell. She died in Tucson, Arizona. I don't know if there's a Tucson DA, but I never worked up the courage to tell the Tucson DA to investigate poison beans. But anyways, and it was nice to be here. LA School of Comedy, Wacky Wednesday, and well, you know, let's get on with the show. I know he's smiling and trying not to look at me, so I'm going to call him right now. And please welcome to the stage. He just got back from winning a kickboxing tournament in Thailand. Please give it up for the hilarious Lee Schwartz.
Thank you.
Don't try to not look at me. Come on.
No, I'm looking at you. I'm looking all the way. You know, I always look before I leap. You know, most times. But I was titillated by your stuff about death in your family, and that was you know, no one's been killed in my family, which is good. I could be the first. My girlfriend was away for a little bit, and now she's back, so my life is not in jeopardy, but sometimes I wonder, though. She came in, and I said, you know, it's been, you know, it wasn't the same without you, I said. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet, that's so sweet. And I said, yeah, better, much better. But just, you know, just so you know, these are all kind of girlfriend-approved jokes. She knows about them, okay? And she's always known about them now, okay? One or two maybe she doesn't know about, and she won't know about, ever, unless you tell her, and don't. You know, no, don't. I mean blackmail material, but you know, I don't have any money. Don't blackmail me. Don't have anything. I'm penniless. Yeah, life of poverty. So she can't even take me for money. You know, I'm worthless. So that's a relief, you know, because, you know, no insurance policies, no nothing. So I don't have to worry about that. But, you know, I did take this river raft. It was pretty dangerous, and she was thinking about taking a life insurance policy out on me. But then she realized I don't have anything, so what's the point? And she wished I would come back from the river rafting alive. And I did, and she was happy, I guess, when I walked in the door, but I think she would have preferred me staying, though, in the river raft, like camping in the wilderness somewhere. Needs a break for myself. All right, enough about my girlfriend. That's enough. Give her a rest. She deserves it, you know. I guess she does. But, yeah. But she's not that bad, really. I mean, I'm a difficult person to live with. I really am. I mean, she puts up with me often. You know, and yeah, she puts up with a lot. But I'm really not going to tell you how much she puts up with, because that'll change your whole feeling about me. I don't want to change that. But I did have the opportunity the other day. Well, I ruined the opportunity to, you know, enjoy rolling in the hay. And she emphasizes this quite clearly, that do not tell jokes in bed. Do not tell them. It is the most unsexy thing there is. And I'm one of these people that if you say don't look, you look, and I can't help it. And it's just one of those things, you know, when an accident, you look, the same thing. But I'm worse because there's no chance I can resist not doing it. But I really tried, got into bed, and I'm thinking, I'm going to stay serious. I'm going to stay focused. And then I couldn't resist. And she, you know, she put me on the spot, which wasn't fair. And she said, talk dirty to me. Say something dirty. Dirty. And I'm thinking, you know, I said it's not fair to put me on the spot and I have to think. And I tried to stay and I just couldn't resist it. And I said, well, you can't use my credit cards for a month. That's it. You know, actually, I messed up the joke. Say something mean to me. It was say something mean to me. That's right. Say something mean to me. Right. That talk dirty was, I'm not going to take the garbage out for 2 weeks. Don't get that. So, but I messed that joke up completely. But that was a joke. So. And then she told me to leave, and she said, get out. And I almost did get out. Then I realized it's my house. But that's how bad it was. He's like, I was on my way walking out. Then I realized, wait a second, I live here. And she should get out. No. She, as I said, she puts up with a lot. So, and she says to me, she's like, you're dumb smart. And I said, what does that mean? I don't know what dumb smart means. And she's like, exactly. You don't know. And she's like, well, she says, you use you come up with a really good word, good vocabulary word, but you use it not right in a sentence and you don't quite pronounce it right. But she says, you get credit for coming up with the word itself. I don't know, it's kind of a backhanded compliment. But at least she gives me a compliment, so some sort of compliment. And she says, you almost come up with good ideas. Almost. And I think I do come up with really good ideas. And initially, they seem like really good ideas. And she reminded me, when I lived in Boston, I was having electrical problems with my car. Okay, and the lights, the high beams wouldn't turn off. So, and I said, well, can you, I went to the mechanic, can you do anything about it? It's like electrical problem. You have to go in there and you got to do all these things. I said, okay, fine. Okay, I'll deal with it. And then I thought of a great idea. I said, I'd take duct tape, put it on the top halfway so it wouldn't go in people's eyes when you're driving. And I thought that was fantastic. And I think that was a brilliant idea, honestly. But unfortunately, the cop didn't find that a brilliant idea at all. So he pulled me over. He just gets out, does the cop walk, comes over, and he doesn't even acknowledge me hardly. He looks in front, and he's like, what is this? What the hell is this? And he's like, what is this? I've never seen it. I want you to take all this duct tape off there, and I'm so close to impounding your car right now and giving you a fine for utter stupidity. And he said, you're not driving this car. You're going to stay here till your girlfriend comes and picks you up. And you can tell her you're an idiot, you know. And she would know, yes. So, but I really did think it was a good idea. You know, but guess not. But yeah, so, you know, I try my best. I try to come up with things. And our relationship is getting better. Actually, she doesn't throw things anymore. She just in the morning's the toughest, boy. Pre-coffee, the worst. So this time, I just make sure anything on the table, there's nothing that could injure me, like something lethal or something, knives. Use plastic knives and forks and so forth. Make sure we have coffee cup. It's fine if she drinks it first, the coffee, but if she hasn't drunk the coffee first, it's still there. It doesn't get thrown, but it gets like that. And it almost lifts off the ground, but You know, so we're progressing. We're getting better. She doesn't throw anymore. It's just, and she does throw something. It's not directly at me. It's away from me. So so we're working through this. No couples therapy not needed. We're figuring it right out. But I think I was going to do the haircut joke, but I think it's coming. The haircut joke.
Do the haircut, do it. Yeah, do it.
I'll try to make it quick as possible because it's the truth. Okay, I went to get a haircut. Okay, and I sit down, and once you sit down, that's it. You're done. I mean, that if anything bad happens, you can't get out of it. So she gets the scissors, and she's about to do it, and she's like, "Oh, let me get can I just do your finger with the sideburns because I want to make sure I do a straight line because I've forgotten my glasses." Forgotten my glasses. Now, I'm telling you, you go to a job, of all the jobs to remember your glasses, this is a big one. And I sat down, it was a terrible haircut, and then I was going out the door, and I saw a guy coming this way, and I'm thinking, next victim. I must warn him. And I thought about ways to do it, and I thought about bringing him aside, saying, "She doesn't have her glasses," or something like that, or signal like, how would I do that? Like this? No glasses. No, I can't do that. But I don't know. He went, and that'll haunt me for the rest of my life. And I had opportunity to save him, and I didn't. But maybe if she found her glasses. So I appreciate you all listening, and have a good night. Bye. Thank you.
Let's give it up again for Lee Schwartz.
Yeah.
You may not believe this, but he can kick really high. Mark, do you want to come up? All right, hold on. Let me do a little shtick, though. So one of the reasons I always felt that I was kind of boring, too boring to be a comedian, is because I am from the most boring city in America. And no one's going to come up with it because it's that boring. So what do you think is the most boring city in America?
Fresno.
That's pretty close. You?
Most boring city, I have to say, first comes to mind is like Cleveland.
Okay. How about you, Mark?
Oh, Los Angeles.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah. How about you, Aaron?
Eureka.
Eureka. See, but all those like Fresno and Eureka, they're small cities, right? So I come from a city of over 1 million people, and it's still incredibly boring. I'm from San Jose, California. And it's the heart of Silicon Valley and the soul of nothing. I think that the best way the thing that describes San Jose the best, I think, is the light rail train. I don't know if you've ever ridden the light rail train, but it's the world's slowest train. It's basically useless. It's just, if you've ever been to the Improv in San Jose, it goes through it, and every comedian who's ever done a set at the Improv has to mention the slow-moving train. Like, it just, it goes so slow that you can't even crush a penny on the railing because it goes so slow. You put a penny down, and then the slow-moving train will stop well within distance, and then just the conductor will lean out. It's like, "Son, would you mind removing that off-center 1973 Lincoln penny from the railing, please? And do yourself a favor and sell it on eBay and make some money and buy yourself a hobby." I think so. If you ever meet someone else from San Jose, ask them this, right? Ask them, "What's fun to do in San Jose?" And inevitably, they'll ask you, "Oh, well, you can go to San Francisco or go to the beach in Santa Cruz or wine country, maybe even go to Tahoe, which is 4 hours away." So basically what you're saying, the best thing to do in San Jose is to leave? Yeah, that's anyways. But who's not boring, who's not unexciting, he's got a lot to say. Please give it up for actually probably the reason why we're here, Mark Zaffron.
Just a couple of corrections and notes here. We heard about the magic mushrooms or beans. See, the problem is that they weren't poisoned. the reason his mother died is they were actually Jack's beans from Jack and the Beanstalk, and you should have cut her open because then you would have gotten to the magic gold, right? There was something growing in her stomach, and it wasn't a cancer. And Lee would probably have an easier time with his girlfriend if he blowed her up a little more. She needs air. He needs air. Speaking of air, today I was watching the news, which is the famous source of all humor, is Fox News. Of course, CNN and MSNBC are funny too, but mostly when Fox is making fun of them. So today, that paragon of virtue, Karine Jean-Pierre, she's now an independent, and she's writing her tell-all about the Biden years. So I have this picture of Joe Biden shuffling around the White House with his feet in Kleenex boxes because he's a germaphobe, and he didn't want to get sick. There's stories coming about him getting lost in the closet, And the truth is, they were telling stories about, Bill Clinton getting lost in the closet, and then Obama getting lost in the closet, but Obama was in the closet. I don't know why he'd get lost in the closet. Now the best part is watching him and his wife break up. It is definitely a massive story. It's going to be the best divorce in America. And she keeps claiming, I'm not getting divorced. First thing they say. Believe me. Practice law as long as I am. Well, we're not getting divorced. We got a very strong marriage. Michelle's taking everything. She just wants you out. Back to Malaysia. Go back to the madrasa where you were born. Anyhow, no more making fun of Obama or Clinton. Oh, yeah, Bill Clinton. I love it. He gets up there. He's on TV. He looks like he's plastic. The man looks like he's had more plastic surgery than this and that. He's just plastic. And he has to live with Hillary. He gets up there and he goes, Joe Biden was the best I've ever seen him. He was totally clear and totally the smartest I've ever seen. And I guess that's right. It's easy to be the smartest you've ever been if you weren't smart to begin with. This is a man who's lied his whole way through life. But the best part about all of these stories are they're just stories. They're all going to blow over like everything else. They are as fake as Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes. And now Jasmine Crockett announced today that Republicans like her. And I said, yeah, they do. You are the funniest thing to come around since Lee Shorts. No, I'm not kidding. She could have an incredible career as a stand-up comic. She can replace Whoopi on The View. Not hard, right? Imagine Jasmine Crockett there. Or what's the other one? The one with the bald head. Simone Sanders. She's crazy too. And then, of course, Joy Reid is back in the news. I don't know why we're talking about people like this. It's not funny listening to Joy Reid. It's actually disturbing. You need to whip out one of those courtesy things that they give you on the airplanes to get the earplugs out. Even though they don't work on the earplugs, maybe they'll keep her out. She got up and said, the reason I got fired is because they're racist. All right, so here it is. I'm not a misogynist. I'm not a racist. I don't hate women. All right, I hate everybody. Equally. It works.
Forgive me, Mark. I just had this call. I'm sorry. Mark.
You should have used the air pump.
I'm sorry. No,
Yeah, especially, I'm telling you, you should have used that air pump.
Yep, you're right.
There ain't no girlfriend. Keeps talking about it too much. How he has to please her and everything. You know when you talk about a woman, how you have to please her and all her foibles? It's imaginary. Me, everybody knows who I'm married to. They know exactly what I live through, exactly what goes on in my home. And tonight she's at the Laugh Factory, at the Cantus Assembly. I'm worried about her in case there might be protests outside. At least nobody's running around waving green flags. Now my daughter's raised in a Jewish school, start coming into my house going Free Palestine. So my daughter was haranguing me from London. And I finally said to her, okay, I'm going to ask you one question. She goes, whoa. I said, Tova, I don't talk about what I believe. She goes, what do you mean? I said, if I discussed what I believed about the Gaza-Israeli function, they'd put me in a mental institution. Believe me, I don't believe it. So here she is. She's haranguing me. I said, okay, my final word on the subject. Name one thing since 1948 that the Gazans and the people who live in the West Bank did to make a state. She goes, But you have to understand they're genociding, they're killing children. I said, see, there you go. Now you know why I don't discuss it. I asked a relevant question, I don't get a relevant answer. That's my political humor for tonight. I'm not very funny normally, but it's been one of those weeks, you know? Nothing is of note has really happened, no bombs. Though you do have to applaud the Ukrainians, man. Like putting little wooden sheds together and having drones pop out. It's like Willy Wonka. All right, all of a sudden must have had a bunch of Oompa Loompas driving those vans. How the Russians didn't see it is beyond my comprehension. Then they blew up the bridge, and now Putin turns around to Trump and says, "You know, I have to be tired." And I'm thinking to myself, maybe you would have been better off driving a cab. All right, you didn't get that, right? You're from San Jose. Right? You didn't have Russian cab drivers. Yeah, there was a time in New York when they were all Russian cab drivers. Then they were all Cuban cab drivers. But not to steal somebody else's joke. You know what they all had to say? In my country, I was Attorney General. They were. You've never met one of these guys that came over that wasn't something else in their country. Like all of a sudden, I know it's not what everybody wants to hear, especially Aaron. He's from Berkeley. You know what they're like. There's people up there in Berkeley. They wear Birkenstocks all the time, into the shower. There's nothing worse and what's worse, look at Aaron's feet. He wears socks with his Birkenstocks. There's nothing worse than a man who wears socks with his Birkenstocks. You can't trust somebody like that. It's like, I once met this guy and said, well, what do you think of him? I said, he's wearing socks with his sandals. I just couldn't understand socks. What's the purpose of sandals if you're going to wear socks? Think about it, all right? Why don't you just wear shoes? Or why don't you just wear shoes without socks? There has to be some symmetry in Birkenstocks with socks.
Toe fungus.
There you go. Well, who told you toe fungus? Is that why in porno movies the men always wear socks? Is there something that they're going to get toe fungus? God knows what else they got, and they're worried about toe fungus? Speaking, and I did my last fungus joke for the night, Miley Cyrus. Here's Miley Cyrus. Did a video on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and walked away with flesh-eating bacteria. They're now blaming it on migrants. It's possible. You know, if a homeless migrant pissed on the sidewalk over where she rolled around on the ground, she could get flesh-eating bacteria. And come to think of it, almost anything on Hollywood on the floor is going to eat your flesh. This is not the most comfortable, sanitary place on earth. And you're thinking to myself, all that money and you couldn't have them scrub down the sidewalk before you rolled around in it. So now she's running around with one of them flesh-eating bacteria. And this is my last stupid joke of the night, nobody cursed her with cemetery dirt. And on that note, as we get off to Santeria and whatever they do it in Mexico, what's that called? Brujeria. Oh, God. See? He cursed me. That's what I get for calling on the gods. Anyhow, thank you. I cannot be found in social media. Very glad to come here tonight, though I really did come only to collect the checks. All right. Thank you.
Let's give it up once again for Mark Zaffron, makes all of this possible. And then Lee just left, I guess. Yeah, he's got to get his bicycle up. So recently I've been watching this show called The Studio on Apple TV. I love The Studio. It's one of my favorite shows. But for a while there, I was wondering if advertising worked on me because I walk to and from open mic. It's really close to my place. And for weeks, I would walk past the billboard that advertised The Studio. And not once did I ever considered watching it. And then Aaron one time was like, oh, you should check out The Studio. And then I'm like, all right, cool. And then I was all fully caught up. So for a while there, I wondered if advertising worked on me. But actually, it does, because now I'm concerned that about a recent advertisement that I saw that I think might end my life. Because I kind of want to try fentanyl now. Yeah, so I saw it on the back of a bus. All it said was, one line, one pill, fentanyl kills. And immediately I threw up the devil horns because that sounded amazing. It's like, wow, is that like one line, one pill, fentanyl kills? Is that is that a band called Fentanyl Kills promoting their new single, One Line, One Pill? So yeah, it's as soon as I read it, like an AC/DC song started playing in my head, like one line, one pill, dee doo dee doo dee doo dee doo, fentanyl kills. Yeah, it's amazing. But I'm kind of concerned, but I'm kind of concerned though about whoever came up with that ad because they might end up having a bad day at some point. Just like one morning they're at work and it's like, what's that? Oh man, we lost another one. Oh jeebers. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like I'm sorry. I try to make it educational, but it ended up sounding freaking awesome. I'm sorry. Anyways, but back to the studio. The first episode of the studio, spoiler alert, it's not much of a spoiler, but it revolves around the intellectual property of Kool-Aid. Okay. And the studio, they're making competing Kool-Aid movies. One is about Kool-Aid and oh yeah, and breaking through the wall. And then there's another movie that's about Kool-Aid and Jonestown. You know, where all those people died drinking the Kool-Aid. And besides all the people that died in Jonestown drinking the Kool-Aid, I also feel bad for the people at Flavor Aid. Because it wasn't Kool-Aid that killed all those people. It was Flavor Aid. Okay, actually, let's be more specific. It was the cyanide in the Flavor Aid. But it was grape Flavor Aid that killed all those people. And I feel bad for them because it's been over 40 years and they still can't get any market recognition for killing all those people. So I'm I'm hoping at some point, like maybe the CEO for Flavor Aid will watch that episode, the first episode of the studio, and just have enough. And just set up a press conference, just a really testy press conference. Like, listen, all right, it's been over 40 years, okay? We at Flavor Aid, we demand respect, okay? Because for over 40 years, we've had to watch Kool-Aid take credit for all this and just reach new heights. But meanwhile, we're just losing our asses here trying to sell this crap, all right? And today it changes because from now on, we demand respect, okay? Because it wasn't Kool-Aid kill all those people. It wasn't Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid that killed all those people. Oh, geez. Sorry about that. What I should have said actually was, please drink Flavor Aid. Anyways, but I mentioned that Aaron McIntyre hit me to the studio, and also Aaron McIntyre hosts classes here Tuesday night, acting classes where you just drop in and try some acting. The only commitment is to yourself, and I'll be here next Tuesday because I'm really looking forward to his acting classes. So please welcome to the stage our producer for tonight and most nights, and the founder and leader of the Film Actors Cafe. Welcome to the stage, Aaron McIntyre.
Woo! Transylvania. Hey, everybody. Hey, we're having a good time. Mark, yes, I am from Berkeley. Yeah, I actually moved. I moved from Colorado to California because I wanted to be a minority. I'm a utilitarian. I don't know if you know what that is. I just don't believe in texting. I think you should just pick up the fucking phone. That's just my thing. It just takes too long. It's just too much work. But yeah, I did live in Berkeley, and yeah, it's worse than you even described, Mark. Birkenstocks, but there's a few other things. They have city council meetings, and some of those city council meetings, there's a tree that they don't want anybody to cut down, and so everybody dresses up like trees and comes to the city council meeting, and they've got all these branches, and they're these little old ladies from the hills, lots of money, nothing else to do but go and dress up like trees. Then they had another meeting where they were talking about the SNPs program, which was basically, giving dogs vasectomies. 2 hours of people coming up 2 minutes at a time. You only have 2 minutes to talk. 2 hours of people coming up and talking about why they believed in or did not believe in the SNPs program. And one person actually said, and this was a perfect Berkeley person. This epitomizes a Berkeley person. He came up and actually said, "You're taking my dog's right to have a family away from him." Yeah, really happened. And Billy said something about we don't call them homeless anymore. We call them unhoused. Well, in Berkeley they call them the outdoorsman. I actually saw that on a gate. Please keep the gate closed to keep the outdoorsmen out, which I thought was really good. Yeah. No Birkenstocks. Definitely don't do that. There was something else. I was hoping Lee would come back because there was something about his girlfriend, because I don't have to blow up my girlfriend because I spent a lot more money. I just put a lot more money into it, and yeah, I have been. I've been watching a lot of shows and trying to learn a lot about the Bible. Any Bible fans out there? Any Bible fans? Yeah, big Bible fan. Good. I do have to say, it's really not a book. It's more like a blog, like on paper, because there's so many people who added that thing. I mean, they must have had like a writing room or some kind of a cosmic editor or something, kind of deciding who was going to be. I just think it was basically a bunch of guys going, hey, I want to add to that. I'll write something for that. That'll be fun. And they found all these lost books, and things have been taken out and put in, and so it's been revised thousands and thousands of times. And I think it's due for another one. I think it's due for another revision. They got to take some of that stuff out of there. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the smiting and, smiting everyone. And, well, just go down into Jerusalem and kill them all. I mean, every man, woman, and child. It says that. Every man, woman, and child. That's a little harsh, I think. I mean, babies are innocent. But, yeah, some of the stuff needs to be taken out. The whole thing about, spilling your seed on the ground. That's ridiculous. I've never wanted to do that. I have never wanted to spill my seed anywhere other than, well, and that's the thing, is they don't say you can't spill it in a sock, right? Just the dirt. As long as you don't get it in the dirt. And I don't know if that's because they're afraid something's going to grow or, something. And maybe you'd have two things growing next to each other that, would be illegal. Like, you can't plant two crops in the same place and can't wear a nice cotton blend. You always have to wear the straight wool. Can't pick up a football. If anybody plays football out there, you should be dead because you can't touch pigskin. That's what they say. You can't touch pigskin. Lots of rules like that. Lots of rules about being unclean and, poor women. I mean, you guys in the Bible, the way they talk about, and if she has an issue and it is of flesh, that sounds really gross. Much worse than the actual thing. And she will be unclean for 7 days and must be locked away, and you can't sit on a chair that she sat on, which is ridiculous. And if I were a woman at that time, I would walk around when I had my period and sit on everything. Sit on everything. So nobody could sit down, and all the men would have to learn how to shit standing up. That's what I think. I had some other stuff, but I left it in my phone, so I guess I'll just wing it. Let's see. What was I going to talk about? Oh, look at that. My producer, Billy here. He's taking care of things for me. Thank you. Dark secrets. Do you have any dark secrets you want to expose here? No? Nothing? You're good? Okay. Because, I can go on for days about me, but, that's because I'm selfish, which is what my ex-wife called me, and I tend to agree with her because based on what happened since we parted ways, Lost every friend I had. It was devastating, They all went with her because they were all her friends. But that made me think of something else. You were talking about moving. So I did live in Berkeley. I hated it because there's just way too many white people. I just don't like white people. They're very judgy. You know what I mean? I think that, blacks and Hispanics, they've already convicted me. So I'm good. I'm fine with that. But the judging, I can't stand it. So I actually, when I moved down here, I specifically moved to Crenshaw. and it was wonderful. I did not see a white person for 2 weeks. I swear to God, I was the only white person I saw for 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks I was down here, it was heaven. It was heaven. Because white people are just a bunch of big whiners. You know, oh, you're stealing our culture. And it's like, there are people around the world who have a culture and they maintain their culture. Nobody takes their culture away. Like even the blacks, right? They came here, we tried to beat it out of them, couldn't do it. Could not do it. They kept on, man. Wrote great songs about, you know, Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care, which is a very happy sounding song, which is literally about a slave owner getting killed and put in a ditch. Yeah, that's what the whole song is about. I didn't realize that until I just looked it up. It's about a slave owner who was riding his horse, and the slaves would have to go and like swat the flies away. And one of the guys just didn't do it, and the horse was bitten by a blue-tailed fly, and the horse bucked him off into a ditch, and he died. And that's what the whole song is about. Happy. It's a happy subject. Anytime someone who's deserving gets what they deserve, then that's a good thing for me. I feel good up here. Thank you. Thank you. I do. I feel good. You feel good out there? You got no. It's a bunch of room, a bunch of comics. Nobody wants it. Nobody is like, yeah, I want to be out here watching you. No, I want to be up there. Okay. I'll dig in. I don't even have, I haven't even got my 8-minute light, have I? Huh? 20 seconds to 8? All right. What does this mean? Free speech as opposed to free words. No, I'm reading my notes. The Republicans don't want free speech, which would be a string of words altogether to express a thought. They just want to be able to say retarded. That's all it is. That's basically it. They just want to be able to say one word, but they don't want you to string a bunch of things together. Kind of like being in that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where it's like a dream, but it's a nightmare, but it's not, but it's something. That's a description of driving in L.A. Yeah, whites are the whites are culturally appropriating apartheid, right? I know, but they're culturally appropriating it because now they're the ones who are the victims. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. I always have to. Yeah, but when have the whites? Maybe they have been victims of apartheid. Yeah, would you? That'd be great because I got lots of time now. I got 2 minutes now. Oh, there was one thing right here. Here we go. I got something here. Oh, yeah, I was thinking about, music and how you listen to music and you get the lyrics wrong. Like I thought it was, I don't need, I can smell your pizza burning instead of I don't need no beast of burden. I thought that was one of them. Help me, Rhonda. Yeah, get her out of my car. But I noticed that all of the Hispanic music, you can understand every word, right? And our songs are like mumbling through it, But Hispanic music is like they just say every word, so you can understand it. I mean, I could if I understood Spanish, but I don't, which is why I don't want a foreign girlfriend, because then they can talk behind your back right in front of you, and I wouldn't want that. I'd have to keep asking them what they meant, So that's all my time. I'm gonna stop there. It's been lovely speaking with all of you. Please come to the acting class Tuesday night, 7 p.m. right here, 10835 Santa Monica Boulevard. Thank you. And Billy Ramirez.
So we decided on fist bumps, right?
Yeah,
Because you talk about the signal and
Yes.
right. So it's fist bumps, yeah. But
Now on.
speaking of lyrics that you misheard, I don't know if anyone's heard of the band Stabbing Westward, but they have a song called "Save Yourself," and at one point the singer sings what I thought he said was, "How can I have sex without you?" No, it turns out it's "How can I exist without you?" But yeah, for a while there, it was really confusing. How can I have? I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't know. So I guess one of the reasons I'm here tonight doing open mic comedy is because I don't have children to look after. I don't have kids. I should have kids. I like kids. The reason I don't have kids is just because it's not because I don't like kids. It's because it looks exhausting. And I don't have kids because I prefer. I like time and money better, and also not crying at Target. I don't know if that's the thing parents do, but I would have kids if we could lease them. Yeah, I would try. Like, I'm maybe not ready to commit to a full lifetime of having children, but if I could, right now at this stage of my life, I would jump into a 36-month lease on a pre-owned 2022 model. Yeah, it's maybe like a clean Carfax, clean title, low tantrums, something like that. Yeah, I would try that. I'd pay extra for luxury features, like maybe the kid speaks some other languages and sleeps through the night. But also, yeah, leasing kids. We should think about that. Maybe. And there could be other options, like maybe a 72-month lease where you pick them up as a toddler, and then you drop them off before they start to get all long and gangly, and start to have opinions about things you don't care about, like Minecraft architecture or why Paw Patrol is problematic, and that stage where they're mostly knees and elbows and like 60% teeth, just goofy, gangly kids. And yeah, it's I don't know. It's just those goofy, gangly kids, those long kids. I don't know. I don't find them adorable. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know. It sounds kind of specific, but I do have one friend's kid in mind when I think about long, gangly kids with the long teeth, and I'm hoping that all my friends with kids start confronting me about it. It's like, hey, that joke you do about the long, gangly kids with the goofy teeth? That's not about my kid, is it? And then that would give me the opportunity to go like, what? Heavens, no. Why would you think I was talking about your kid? I was talking about another kid whose knees bend backwards and has teeth like tombstones, But if you do think I'm talking about your kid, please do me a favor and write it down in exacting detail why, and hand it to me before my next set. But anyways, someone here who can definitely talk to you about having kids and raising kids and all that. Please pardon the pun, because she does shine very brightly. Please give it up for Sherry Bright.
Sherry Bright?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. All right, so now I'm going to tell you. Sorry. So here's an issue. No, I know we're live. Here's an issue we've been having, because I'm sorry. I always confuse Sherry Bright and Holly Starr, because you have cosmic names. I'm sorry, I confuse you all the time. So when you walked in, and when you walked in, I'm like, oh, hello. I'm like, oh God, which one is she? Like, son of a bitch. Like,
Are you having trouble remembering her name?
I do. Yeah. So, Holly Starr, Sherry Bright. I'm sorry, I confuse you all the goddamn time. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, Sherry, Holly, Starr, Bright. I'm sorry. Like, yeah. I'm so sorry, but I'm the one making an ass of myself here, so it's all right. I'm fine. It's not the first time I made an ass of myself. It won't be the last. So, yeah, please give it up for Holly Starr. Did you see that? I still had to think about it. I talked about it. I still had to think about it. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. I mean, whatever. I'm so sorry.
If my set doesn't go well, I'm Sherry Bright. I know Sherry. She's a good comic. Let's see here.
I knew I was gonna fuck that up.
It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. You said that white people are annoying. Yeah. Well, that just leads me right into my white girl problems. I've got some. I've got some white girl problems. I'm sure all of you men can relate. It's quite a room in here. Yes, it's quite a room in here, guys. All right, here's one of my white girl problems. I have a retirement stock portfolio and an EBT card. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love watching my 25-year growth plan, knowing that I'll probably only live another 10. You know, we all know comics don't live the healthiest of lifestyles. Yeah, it's awesome to watch myself get rich while I eat ramen noodles. So that's happening. Another white girl problem. Sometimes being white just catches me off guard, you know? I woke up this morning, I looked pale. And I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, whoa, what is that? I was like, did I just join the witness protection program? I hope not, because I really don't want the sequel to look worse than the original. Another white girl problem. I've got one lip. Okay.
At least you got one.
I got one. What is this? All right, we all know, Mark. Black women have beautiful, plump lips. Okay. Yeah, a lot too. This is the end of my face. Okay. This is a curtain for my teeth. That's like a curtain for my teeth. I mean, I tried putting on lipstick, and I'm like, where? I mean, it's like my lip ghosted my face. Okay. That was my white girl problems. Hope you enjoyed that. I represent it, all right? I started doing yoga because I have the flexibility of a brick wall. Sorry, men. The imagination does not meet the reality. I know what men think. Okay. I went to hot yoga. It was just warm. That was a Holly problem. That's okay. It's a Holly problem. But it doesn't really matter what temperature it is in yoga. There's always at least one, like, yoga bro. Okay, have you heard of the yoga bro? Oh, my God. He thinks it's a sport. All right. After class, he's, like, high-fiving, like, the 3 dudes who show up. You know, he's like, good workout, bro. Namaste, bro. I'm like, really? You just said the divine in me honors the divine in you, bro. Like, what? And how the fuck can yoga be a sport if you are literally doing it standing still? I don't know. And the guy, he's like, the dude's, he's like in, triangle pose. He's like panting in triangle pose. I'm like, he's like, I'm like, this is not the final lap on your Peloton race, okay? Jesus. And then in Shavasana, he's lying down and he's dripping in sweat. And I'm like, what is going on? Are you trying to waterboard yourself? He's like, he's just dripping. He gets up, his mat is like a slip and slide. Just, I'm like, dude, relax. That's the whole point, right? Fucking yoga bros. Google it. All right. What was that? Yeah, fucking ChatGPT that shit. It's in LA. Okay, that's the city. Getting older, man. I'm getting older. It sucks. I'm 53. It's just, no, I'm not really 53. I'm 35. plus 25 minus 7 years of depression. It's still 53. I'm the same age as Dorothy from the Golden Girls. Like, what? I mean, was she like, what, 30 in high school? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It's so sad. I'm so old. All my favorite TV characters are dead. You know, like, do you guys remember Three's Company? Yeah. Yeah, right. Jack, Janet, Chrissy. I love that show. Only Janet's still alive. I'm so old. Three's Company should just be called 2 Down, 1 to Go. Yeah. Also, when you get old, it gets bad. I woke up sore from sleeping. Yeah, I turned my head. It got stuck. It got stuck, and now I like live here. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm giving myself the side eye. It's not even 8 a.m. I'm judging me. I'm like, what did you do last night? Like, what didn't you do? It's bad. It's bad. I mean, there's so many things now I can't do, you know, like, or I'm not supposed to have, you know, I can't, no sugar, you know, no salt, no meth. It's just, my orchid in my living room is living a better life than me. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. That's not that. It's over here. It's over here. Oh, yeah. Because my life is so boring now because I'm trying to be healthy. I hate it when influencers, okay? Influencers are telling me to glow up. How can I glow up when I'm miserable? You know, I just can't. Like, age is making me dull. I am the human version of beige, okay? It's not my choice. It's just reality. I think the most interesting thing about me right now is my Wi-Fi password. It's beige. But here's something I can do. Here's something I can do that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be drinking like 3 liters of water a day. Like, what? That's like 100 ounces. Like, okay, if you drink like 100 ounces of water, you're like peeing every 20 minutes. That doesn't sound healthy. That sounds like bladder cancer. Just saying. It just does. And it's like, let's see here. Oh, yeah, because I'm trying. So now my new hobbies are drinking water, tracking water, telling water to fuck off. I'm trying to find ways like to trick myself into drinking more water, you know, not drinking it for the taste. All right. I'm like, water is like I'm pretending it's beer at a frat party. I'm like, chug, chug, chug. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing at 53? It's just me living my best life. And the fact that I remember frat parties means probably back then I didn't have the best life either. Okay. And then like I'm trying to have contests with myself, like how long can I hold it for? You know, I gotta pee. I'm like doing bladder kegels. Is that a thing? I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm making my bladder stronger or if it's gonna pop like a balloon. These are things they don't teach you in health class. Yeah, they don't fucking teach you anything you need to know in school. You know, like, granted, yeah, great. I learned how to dissect a frog. That is not going to help me with my 401k. And then the last thing, okay, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, talking about school. Like, they're taking, like, controversial books out of school. Come on. Yeah, children really need to read less. That's important. That's important. I mean, one of the most banned books is George Orwell's 1984. And it's not for the reason you would think. They say it's because of sexual themes. What? What? That brings a whole new meaning to Big Brother is watching you. Okay. I'll end it on that. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thanks again. Please give it up for
Sherry Bright.
Holly Starr. I'm sorry. Like, so just Sherry. We've been in Right Club for the last few weeks, and I've called her Chief because I'm not confident. Like, oh man, hi. I've called her Dude. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like I've been in the kickball team for 7 weeks, and I know it takes at least 8 weeks to learn people's names, but. If you do, I know we're all getting older and all that, but if you want to feel good about yourself about getting older, just Google the ages of the actors from Cheers when they were in Cheers, okay? And then you'll feel so much better about yourself. Like, for example, did you know that Kelsey Grammer was 29 when he joined that show? He looked 74 years old. So anyways, yeah. And then So anyways, but... hold on, once again, Holly Starr, Aaron McIntyre and Lee Schwartz, who had ditched us for some reason, and Mark Zaffron, who makes this all possible. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us on Wacky Wednesday here at LA School of Comedy at 10835 Santa Monica Boulevard. Our next show is going to be Funky Friday. It starts at 7 p.m. And once again, please don't forget about Aaron McIntyre's Film Actors Cafe class on Tuesdays here at 7. Once again, there's no commitment other than to yourself. So I've been Billy Ramirez. You can find me at billyramirez.com. And you can find me at Instagram, Middle Aged Muchacho. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you Friday. I knew I was going to screw that up. I'm so sorry. Like, oh my God. Oh my
You
God.
realize white people acknowledge white supremacy?